In this video, we will discuss 15 of the most dangerous combinations with olive oil that could negatively affect your health. Olive oil is appreciated for its flavor and health benefits, but not all foods can be safely combined with it. Some combinations may cause digestive issues, put excessive strain on the liver, raise blood sugar levels, and even increase the risk of cardiovascular diseases. To avoid serious health complications, watch this video until the end and learn which mistakes could have significant consequences for your body. This video is going to be incredibly informative and helpful. If you want to take control of your health like a pro, give it a like, and let's get started. Mistake 15. Never combine olive oil with garlic in large amounts. Although olive oil and garlic are often seen as symbols of healthy eating, consuming them together in excess can pose a serious risk to the body. Garlic, rich in active compounds such as allicin, has strong antibacterial properties and stimulates digestion. However, in large quantities, it can aggressively affect the stomach lining, leading to increased acidity. A study by the National Institutes of Health indicates that excessive consumption of garlic combined with fats such as olive oil raises the risk of inflammation in the pancreas and stomach. While olive oil has many beneficial properties, it slows down digestion, allowing stomach acid to remain in contact with the stomach lining for a longer time. This prolonged exposure causes irritation, which, over time, may develop into gastritis or even an ulcer. Maria Lopez, a 47-year-old woman from Spain, had been adding a generous amount of garlic to her meals for years, often drizzling it with olive oil. Over time, she began experiencing severe heartburn and persistent stomach pain. After seeking medical advice, she was diagnosed with gastritis and the early stages of an ulcer. Experts from the Harvard School of Public Health recommend limiting garlic intake to moderate amounts, no more than 2 to 3 cloves per day. If you still want to use olive oil and garlic together, it is best to add them at the end of cooking to reduce their harsh impact on the digestive system. Mistake 14. Never combine olive oil with fish fried at high heat. At first glance, fish fried in olive oil may seem like a healthy and delicious dish. However, when heated to high temperatures, olive oil loses its beneficial properties and begins to release toxic compounds such as acrolein and trans fats. Frying at high heat alters the chemical structure of the oil, making it not only less nutritious but also potentially harmful to health. A study by the Harvard School of Public Health found that olive oil starts to release harmful substances when heated above 180 degrees Celsius, 356 degrees Fahrenheit. Researchers discovered that regularly consuming food cooked in overheated oil increases the risk of cardiovascular diseases by 25%. Additionally, heated oil contributes to the formation of carcinogens, significantly raising the risk of developing cancer. Pablo Gutierrez, a 63-year-old man from Spain, frequently fried fish in olive oil at high heat, believing it to be a healthy meal. For several years, he did not notice any issues, but over time, he began experiencing chest pain and shortness of breath. A medical examination revealed that Pablo had developed ischemic heart disease. To prevent the release of harmful compounds from olive oil, use moderate temperatures when frying fish. Experts from the American Heart Association recommend cooking fish at a temperature no higher than 71 degrees Celsius, 160 degrees Fahrenheit, or opting for gentler cooking methods such as baking or steaming. If you want to use olive oil, it is best to add it at the end of cooking or use it for cold dishes like salads. Mistake 13. Never combine olive oil with foods high in carbohydrates. At first glance, pairing pasta or bread with olive oil may seem both delicious and healthy. Olive oil contains monounsaturated fats that have a positive effect on the heart and blood vessels. However, the issue is that when combined with carbohydrate-rich foods, this oil can turn into a potential health risk. A study by the Harvard School of Public Health found that consuming foods high in simple carbohydrates along with fats can lead to a significant increase in blood glucose levels. Since carbohydrates digest quickly and turn into sugar, fats, including olive oil, slow down this process. This causes fluctuations in blood sugar levels, which over time can contribute to the development of insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and even obesity. Laura Jones, a 48-year-old woman from the United Kingdom, often prepared Italian dishes with pasta, olive oil, and white garlic bread. She believed this type of meal was healthy because of olive oil's good reputation. However, after several years, she began experiencing serious health problems, including constant fatigue, weight gain, and spikes in blood sugar levels. After a medical examination, she was diagnosed with prediabetes. If you do not want to give up olive oil, try pairing it with foods rich in fiber and protein, such as vegetables, leafy greens, or whole grain pasta. These foods help slow down carbohydrate absorption, stabilize blood sugar levels, and improve digestion. Mistake 12. Never combine olive oil with processed meat products. Processed meat products, such as sausages and hot dogs, have a questionable reputation when it comes to health. While olive oil is considered a source of healthy fats, combining it with processed meats can have serious health consequences. The issue is that processed meat often contains added preservatives, such as sodium and nitrates, which, when interacting with the fats in olive oil, can form carcinogenic compounds. A study conducted by the American Institute for Cancer Research highlights that consuming processed meat is linked to an increased risk of colorectal cancer. According to their research, people who regularly eat these products have an 18% higher risk of developing the disease compared to those who limit their intake. Richard Moore, a 62-year-old man from Australia, was a big fan of barbecue, and his favorite dish was sausages generously drizzled with olive oil. He believed that using olive oil made the sausages healthier. However, after several years of this habit, Richard began experiencing digestive issues, and he was eventually diagnosed with colon cancer. It is best to limit or completely avoid consuming processed meat products. Instead of sausages and hot dogs, opt for fresh meats such as chicken or turkey, which are rich in protein and contain fewer harmful additives. Olive oil pairs better with plant-based proteins like legumes or nuts, which add fiber and essential nutrients to your diet. Mistake 11. Never combine olive oil with mayonnaise. At first glance, mixing olive oil and mayonnaise may seem harmless, even like a tasty option for salad dressings or sandwiches. However, when these two ingredients are combined, they create a powerful mix of saturated fats and calories that can negatively impact your health. According to the Harvard School of Public Health, excessive consumption of saturated fats and high-calorie foods is linked to an increased risk of cardiovascular diseases and metabolic syndrome. One study found that even a small amount of mayonnaise in the diet can contribute to weight gain and higher triglyceride levels in the blood, which in turn raises the risk of type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Margaret Smith, a 47-year-old woman from Canada, loved making salads and often added mayonnaise along with olive oil, believing it enhanced the flavor. Over time, it caused her to unknowingly increase her daily calorie intake significantly. Eventually, Margaret began experiencing heart problems, and after a physical examination, doctors diagnosed her with a prediabetic condition and high cholesterol levels. The first step to a healthier diet is replacing mayonnaise with better alternatives. Try using low-fat yogurt, cottage cheese, or avocado as a salad dressing. These options not only reduce the overall calorie content of the meal, but also provide beneficial nutrients. Olive oil can also be combined with fresh herbs and lemon juice to create a light and healthy dressing. Mistake 10. Never combine olive oil with fast food. Pairing olive oil with fast food may seem like a gourmet or even a healthier choice, but in reality, this combination can lead to serious health issues. Olive oil, known for its beneficial fats and antioxidants, loses its advantages when added to high-calorie foods loaded with unhealthy trans fats and simple carbohydrates. According to the American Heart Association, combining high-calorie foods with fats can increase overall calorie intake and contribute to metabolic disorders. Research conducted by the National Institutes of Health confirms that regular consumption of such foods raises the risk of developing type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular diseases. Stephen Jones, a 42-year-old man from the United Kingdom, believed that adding olive oil to his favorite burgers and French fries would make them healthier. Over the course of a year, he noticed a weight gain of 7 kilograms, along with symptoms of diabetes such as constant thirst and fatigue. After undergoing medical tests, doctors diagnosed him with type 2 diabetes. The first step toward improving your diet is to avoid combining olive oil with fast food. Instead, it is better to use olive oil for preparing light salads or as a dressing for vegetable dishes rich in fiber and essential nutrients. Additionally, replacing fast food with home-cooked meals made from fresh ingredients is a much healthier alternative. Mistake 9. Never combine olive oil with artificial additives. Mixing olive oil with artificial additives such as sweeteners and flavor enhancers creates a risky combination that can negatively affect your health. While olive oil has numerous beneficial properties, it becomes vulnerable when combined with chemically processed ingredients that may trigger harmful reactions in the body. According to research conducted by the Harvard School of Public Health, artificial sweeteners can disrupt the balance of gut microbiota and increase the risk of obesity and metabolic disorders. A study published in the journal Nature found that regular consumption of artificial additives contributes to insulin resistance and metabolic imbalances. Mary Smith, a 37-year-old woman from Australia, believed she was making her diet healthier by adding olive oil to desserts containing artificial sweeteners and flavoring agents. Over time, she began experiencing unusual symptoms, including persistent headaches, rapid heartbeat, and digestive discomfort. After undergoing multiple medical tests, doctors diagnosed her with an allergic reaction to one of the artificial ingredients. To maintain the health benefits of olive oil, it is best to avoid combining it with foods that contain artificial additives. Instead, use olive oil in its pure form as a dressing for fresh salads or vegetable dishes. If you want to add sweetness to your meals, opt for natural sweeteners like honey or maple syrup. Mistake 8. Never combine olive oil with French fries. The combination of olive oil and French fries may seem tempting, but it is a deceptive mix that can be extremely harmful to your health. While olive oil is praised for its beneficial properties and antioxidant effects, adding it to fried foods like French fries compromises its full potential. According to the American Heart Association, consuming trans fats is linked to higher levels of bad cholesterol and lower levels of good cholesterol, which can eventually lead to atherosclerosis and cardiovascular diseases. A study conducted by the National Institutes of Health found that eating fried foods significantly increases the risk of developing type 2 diabetes and obesity. Kevin Brown, a 45-year-old man from the United Kingdom, believed that adding olive oil to French fries would make them a healthier option. He frequently ordered French fries at restaurants and drizzled them with olive oil, thinking it would enhance both the taste and nutritional value. Over time, he noticed rapid weight gain and began experiencing heart problems. After a medical evaluation, doctors diagnosed him with ischemic heart disease. It is best to avoid French fries and other fried foods as they contain high amounts of calories and unhealthy fats. If you crave potatoes, consider baking them in the oven with a minimal amount of olive oil or incorporating them into fresh salads to highlight their natural flavor and nutritional benefits. Mistake 7. Never combine olive oil with canned foods that have a high salt content. Mixing olive oil with canned foods that contain high levels of salt is a potentially harmful combination that can negatively affect your health. Canned foods often have excessive amounts of sodium, which is used for preservation and flavor enhancement. When consumed together with olive oil, which is rich in healthy fats, this mixture can increase the risk of high blood pressure and other cardiovascular diseases. According to the American Heart Association, excessive salt intake can lead to elevated blood pressure, increasing the risk of stroke and heart attack. Research conducted by the National Institutes of Health has shown that consuming too much sodium contributes to chronic conditions such as heart failure and kidney disease. Anna Smith, a 50-year-old woman from Australia, believed that adding olive oil to canned vegetables like green peas and corn would make her meals healthier. However, after some time, she began experiencing frequent headaches and high blood pressure. After undergoing medical tests, doctors diagnosed her with hypertension. The first step toward better health is reducing the consumption of canned foods, especially those with high sodium content. If you still want to use canned vegetables, always choose low sodium or no salt added options. You can also enhance the flavor of your meals with fresh herbs and spices instead of relying on olive oil. Mistake 6. Never combine olive oil with high-fat dairy products. Pairing olive oil with high-fat dairy products is one of the most misleading dietary mistakes. While olive oil has many beneficial properties, it can interact with the saturated fats found in cream and full-fat cheese, which may negatively impact digestion. These two types of fats require different digestive processes. Olive oil is absorbed more easily, whereas high-fat dairy products can slow down overall digestion. According to research conducted by the American Institute for Cancer Research, excessive consumption of saturated fats, especially when combined with oils, can raise cholesterol levels in the blood. Researchers have also noted that such combinations can contribute to inflammation in the body, which in turn increases the risk of cardiovascular diseases and chronic gastrointestinal conditions. Patrick O'Malley, a 48-year-old man from Ireland, believed that adding olive oil to dishes containing full-fat cheese and cream made them healthier. He frequently prepared pasta with a cream-based sauce, generously drizzling it with olive oil. After a few months, he began experiencing persistent stomach pain and frequent heartburn. After undergoing a medical examination, Patrick was diagnosed with gastritis. To protect your digestive health, it is best to avoid combining olive oil with high-fat dairy products. Instead, you can pair olive oil with lower-fat dairy options, such as yogurt or ricotta cheese, which are easier for the body to process. Additionally, using fresh herbs or lemon juice can enhance the flavor and texture of your meals in a healthier way. Mistake 5. Never combine olive oil with red meat. Pairing olive oil with red meat is a common mistake that many people do not realize. While olive oil is considered a healthy choice, consuming it alongside red meat can have negative health effects. Red meat, especially when eaten in large amounts, contains saturated fats and cholesterol, which may increase the risk of cardiovascular diseases. Research conducted by the Harvard School of Public Health has shown that regular consumption of red meat is associated with a higher risk of developing various forms of cancer, including colorectal cancer. A large-scale study involving more than 40,000 people found that increasing red meat intake by just 100 grams per day was linked to a 28% increase in cancer risk. Carlos Gomez, a 57-year-old man from Spain, was an avid steak lover, frequently including red meat in his diet and generously drizzling it with olive oil. He believed that olive oil would counteract the harmful effects of meat, but after several years of this eating habit, he developed serious health issues. Carlos was diagnosed with high blood pressure, and later doctors confirmed colorectal cancer. It is essential to reconsider dietary habits. Instead of using olive oil with red meat, it is better to opt for lighter protein sources such as chicken or fish, which contain less fat and are easier to digest. Olive oil is an excellent choice for dressing vegetable salads or enhancing seafood-based dishes. Mistake 4. Never combine olive oil with foods high in omega-6. Oils rich in omega-6, such as corn oil or sunflower oil, when combined with olive oil, can lead to serious health issues, including inflammation, cardiovascular diseases, and even cancer. At first glance, this combination may seem harmless. However, while olive oil is packed with beneficial monounsaturated fats and antioxidants, its health benefits can be undermined and consumed with oils that contain high levels of omega-6. These fats, commonly found in vegetable oils like corn and sunflower oil, can cause inflammation when their intake exceeds omega-3 levels. This imbalance in the body contributes to the development of chronic diseases. According to research from the American Heart Association, excessive consumption of omega-6 fatty acids can increase the risk of cardiovascular diseases and other inflammatory disorders. One study found that a high intake of omega-6 fatty acids is linked to elevated levels of inflammatory markers in the blood, which can negatively affect vascular health and lead to atherosclerosis. Anna Smith, a 45-year-old woman from Australia, loved salads with olive oil and often added vegetables sautéed in sunflower oil. She believed she was eating a healthy and balanced diet. However, after several months, she began experiencing constant fatigue and mild chest pain. After consulting a doctor, she was diagnosed with hypertension, and her test results showed high levels of inflammatory markers. Doctors explained that the combination of olive oil and sunflower oil had caused an omega-6 and omega-3 imbalance, triggering inflammation in her body. To prevent this, it is essential to be mindful of fat choices. Instead of mixing olive oil with oils rich in omega-6, opt for alternative sources of healthy fats, such as avocado or fish oil, which are high in omega-3. Olive oil pairs particularly well with foods containing omega-3, such as flax seeds or walnuts, making it an excellent choice for salad dressings. Mistake 3. Never combine olive oil with alcohol. This combination can lead to serious health issues, including liver dysfunction, gastritis, and even liver cancer. Pairing olive oil with alcohol may seem harmless, but it is a risky combination that can pose a significant threat to your health. Olive oil is well known for its beneficial properties, particularly due to its high content of antioxidants and monounsaturated fats. However, when consumed alongside alcohol, especially in large amounts, this combination can negatively impact liver function and overall well-being. When olive oil and alcohol enter the body at the same time, the liver faces a double workload. Olive oil requires metabolic processing, while alcohol is broken down by the same system. Research conducted by the American Institute for Cancer Research has shown that the combination of fats and alcohol can contribute to liver inflammation and increase the risk of liver cancer. Excessive alcohol consumption disrupts the liver's normal detoxification processes, leading to toxin buildup and potential cell damage. Maria Gonzalez, a 37-year-old woman from Spain, enjoyed spending evenings with friends, sipping wine and eating appetizers drizzled with olive oil. She believed this combination was healthy and would not harm her body. However, after months of regular consumption, Maria began experiencing extreme fatigue and weakness. After a medical examination, doctors diagnosed her with chronic gastritis, caused by irritation of the stomach lining due to the simultaneous effects of olive oil and alcohol. They also noted that her liver was under significant stress. To avoid this health risk, it is essential to reconsider your dietary choices. Limit alcohol intake, especially if your diet includes high amounts of fat. If you want to enjoy the benefits of olive oil, use it in salads or with vegetables, but try to avoid combining it with alcohol. Mistake 2. Never combine olive oil with margarine. This combination can lead to serious health conditions, including cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and other dangerous disorders. Although both olive oil and margarine are often considered sources of fat, mixing them together can create major health risks. Olive oil, rich in monounsaturated fats and antioxidants, is well known for its heart-healthy properties. In contrast, margarine contains trans fats and saturated fats, which can negatively impact cholesterol levels in the blood. When these two products are consumed together, they can increase levels of bad cholesterol, low-density lipoproteins, while lowering levels of good cholesterol, high-density lipoproteins. This imbalance can be a trigger for cardiovascular diseases and other metabolic disorders. According to the American Heart Association, consuming high amounts of trans fats can raise the risk of cardiovascular disease by 23%. Research from the National Institutes of Health has shown that trans fat consumption is linked to increased inflammation in the body, which can contribute to type 2 diabetes and obesity. One study found that participants who regularly consumed trans fats had a 30% higher risk of developing cardiovascular diseases compared to those who limited their intake. Maria Fernandez, a 45-year-old woman from Spain, often used both olive oil and margarine in her cooking, believing they complemented each other. Over time, she began experiencing persistent headaches, fatigue, and sudden mood swings. After a medical examination, she was diagnosed with prediabetes, and doctors explained that her habit of mixing olive oil with margarine had negatively affected her metabolism, increasing her risk of developing serious health conditions. Many people make the mistake of including margarine in their diet without realizing its potential harm. To avoid this, replace margarine with healthier alternatives such as avocado or nut butters. These options pair well with olive oil and do not contribute to elevated levels of bad cholesterol. Now, pay close attention. This is the most critical point in our discussion. Mistake 1. Never consume olive oil with refined sugar. This combination is commonly found in desserts, pastries, and other sweet dishes. However, it poses significant health risks, potentially leading to conditions such as obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases. While olive oil is often regarded as a nutrient-rich and heart-healthy ingredient due to its high content of monounsaturated fats and antioxidants, combining it with refined sugar creates a harmful metabolic response. Refined sugar, a simple carbohydrate, causes a rapid spike in blood glucose levels. This sudden surge triggers an insulin response, which over time can contribute to insulin resistance and ultimately type 2 diabetes. According to the American Diabetes Association, excessive consumption of refined sugar can increase the risk of developing diabetes by 30%. Furthermore, research conducted by the Harvard School of Public Health indicates that high intake of added sugars is strongly correlated with increased systemic inflammation and obesity, both of which are major risk factors for cardiovascular diseases. The study also found that individuals who regularly consume sugary foods have a 50% higher likelihood of developing cardiovascular conditions. One such case is Alejandro Gomez, a 38-year-old man from Mexico, who frequently incorporated olive oil into desserts and pastries, assuming it would enhance their nutritional value. However, after several months of following this dietary pattern, he began experiencing persistent fatigue and noticeable abdominal weight gain. A medical examination revealed that he had developed prediabetes, directly linked to excessive refined sugar intake and poor carbohydrate management in his diet. His physicians explained that his habit of pairing olive oil with refined sugar had exacerbated his metabolic dysfunction, accelerating the onset of insulin resistance. Many individuals underestimate the long-term impact of regular refined sugar consumption. To mitigate these risks, it is advisable to replace refined sugar with healthier alternatives such as honey or stevia. These natural sweeteners do not cause sharp fluctuations in blood glucose levels, helping to maintain metabolic stability. Olive oil is best suited for salad dressings and vegetable-based dishes with a low glycemic index, as these choices prevent excessive glucose spikes and contribute to a well-balanced nutrient intake. By adopting this approach, individuals can optimize their diet while preserving the health benefits of olive oil without the adverse effects associated with refined sugar. Next, I recommend checking out these videos, and don't forget to leave your likes and comments. I'm looking forward to them.